Cada vez que lo veo pasar. Hey guys, welcome back. Welcome to Spanish Saturdays. It's something that I just started, and I want to upload a video every last Saturday of the month of my progress speaking Spanish or something related to my Spanish learning journey. Hola, bienvenidos a Sábados de Españoles. Decidí comenzar este tipo de video cada sábado al final de mes y también mostrar cómo he estado aprendiendo español. Entonces hoy voy a mostrar cómo he estado aprendiendo español por 6 meses y actualmente estoy haciendo conversaciones con mi maestra, con 2 maestras en mi propio. Estoy aprendiendo español por libros y canciones y escribiendo frases y también ¿qué más? Escuchando a podcasts y viendo las películas o telenovelas en Netflix. Entonces, vámonos. So, I've been learning Spanish since the end of May of this year. So, it's almost 6 months that I've been learning Spanish. I also have a background in Spanish because I studied Spanish in middle school and high school, but that was not conversational Spanish at all. So I started this program called Accelerated Spanish, and there's actually 12 lesson plans that are actually free. They're on YouTube, and you do these lesson plans, but the paid program, I work with a native speaker who walks me through some of the lessons, and we chat on Skype, and they basically help you understand the lesson more, and they're also available to help you with Spanish writing sentences. And so for instance, I'll write a paragraph and send it to my native coach, and she'll correct it, and then when we meet, we'll discuss some of the grammatical errors that were there and why it was wrong, and correct it. So that's basically what I did for the first 12 lessons. And after the 12 lessons, that's when I begin the Spanish conversation. We meet twice a week for 1 hour, and we have a conversation entirely in Spanish. And before the conversation, I can pick a topic to talk about during the lesson. Or my coach will pick a topic or pick a game where I can obviously use as much Spanish vocabulary as possible. So there's the conversation aspect where I speak with my native coach. That's the level that I'm at right now. So I would say my strengths right now, as far as Spanish speaking goes, is my speaking and my writing. My listening and reading is a little harder. I can read much better than I can understand with listening. When it's spoken slowly, I can better understand, obviously, but native Spanish speakers speak very, very fast. So I know in my community, I'm around Spanish speakers all day, and I hear the words that they're saying now. I know what each vocabulary word means, but I don't know what they all mean together, or sometimes if I hear them say something, I don't know what that means together. But sometimes I hear it back in my head, like I play it, it kind of plays back slowly, and I can make out the sentence that they said. But listening has been the hardest thing right now. So yes, I do have my conversation practice, but it's really up to me to have my independent study practice, and that's what I do to supplement in between the times that I meet up with my Spanish coach. So I've been doing that while I've been in med school, and sometimes it is pretty hard to do. Like when I started out, I was doing a minimum of 3 hours, but that was before school started. So I was dedicating 3 hours to doing my lessons and meeting with my coach. So some days I would even do 5 hours, but obviously with med school, it's pretty hard to keep up on that schedule. So I try to do a minimum of 1 hour, and if I have any more time, I'll dedicate more time. So as far as independent study goes, I've been watching La Reina del Sur on Netflix, and that's a really it's a really intense show. So it's about a woman who's in the drug dealing business in Mexico, and her boyfriend was like one of the, I guess, kingpins, but he dies, and now she kind of has to like overtake that throne. And so she's also on the run because the other drug cartel is looking for her because they know that she has the money and the drugs or whatever that her boyfriend had. So they're trying to kill her and get rid of her so that they can obviously make money off of that or take the money. So she flees to Morocco and goes to Spain. And so it just shows all of those adventures and all of that stuff. But I'm still on season 1, so I'm not that far in, but as you can see, a lot has happened. Yeah, it's just like a lot of drama. But so what I do is I watch the show with Spanish subtitles, and when they say certain things that are very commonly said and I don't know what that means, I like write it down and then I look it up to see what it means. Or when I meet with my Spanish coach, I ask her to translate. I enjoy watching that show, so it's like entertainment and learning Spanish at the same time. So that's what I've been doing so far as the show. And I also try to write as many Spanish paragraphs as possible so I can send it to my coach to correct. And I'll show you a video of one of the paragraphs that I recently wrote and how the correction process happens, and etc. And so far, I've progressed a lot in this program. I've learned a lot of vocabulary, and I've learned a lot of the like common phrases that you would say in Spanish conversation, because in like high school, they teach you a lot of things that you're really not going to use. They teach you kind of like literal Spanish, but this is actually teaching me how Spanish speakers speak on a day-to-day basis. And I've been able to learn the lyrics to some of my favorite Spanish-speaking songs, like Como la Flor by Selena and La Tortura by Shakira. So it's really fun just like learning a song in a different language and being able to sing it when it comes on. So sometimes, like honestly, on my way to school, when I don't have time, I'll learn a song on my way to school and my way back. I learned La Tortura on my way to class. I looked at the lyrics in English, and then I played the song, and then I looked at the lyrics in Spanish, and then I was like singing along with the song, and I just kept playing it while I was walking, and then I got on the bus and I was playing it, and then during my lunch break I was playing the song again, and then on my way home I was playing the song again, and I learned like 3 minutes of Spanish in that time. So, and I like that song, so now I can actually sing along to the song. So recently I've been reading this book here. It's called Como Agua para Chocolate, and I watched the movie. They were only speaking Spanish, but it had the English subtitles. So I watched it so that I would at least know what goes on in the movie. So I watched the movie to actually find out the plot of the book, and so that would be much easier for me while I'm reading, so that I can kind of get an idea of what the book is about, because there may be words that I don't know, but because I have that context, I'll be able to read the book better. And so what I do as far as reading, I usually try to read I usually try to read a few pages at a time, but this book is actually organized in chapters based on like the month and like different recipes actually. So the book is about the youngest daughter born into this family where her father dies and her mother becomes very like protective and she's very controlling. So the mom says that her youngest daughter is going to take care of her until she dies, and so the youngest daughter is not allowed to get married, and she will just be confined to the kitchen and making recipes and making food for the family. But the youngest daughter actually falls in love with a guy, and her mom forbids it, and the same guy actually ends up marrying her sister. So yeah, obviously you know that's going to end up a little messy, and it gets really good. So it was a pretty good movie. I don't want to ruin it for you guys, but that's the book I'll be reading now. So what I do is read a couple of pages of the book. So I'll read it in my head, and then after I'll read it out loud so I can practice pronunciation. And then when there's certain words that I don't know, I actually write them on Post-its here, and I'll look them up to see what they mean. And I'll read the entire chapter and try to summarize what happened in the book. And then after that, I'll write a sentence about it, and I'll send it to my coach and have them correct it. So I'll read just this first page for you so that you guys can see just my reading process and see how I read it aloud in Spanish. Okay, let's go. Capítulo 1, enero, tortas de Navidad. Ingredientes: una lata de sardinas, medio de chorizo, 1 cebolla, orégano, 1 lata de chiles serranos, 10 teleras. Manera de hacerse: la cebolla tiene que estar finamente picada. Les sugiero ponerse un pequeño trozo de cebolla en la mollera con el fin de evitar el molesto lagrimeo que se produce cuando uno la está cortando. Lo malo de llorar cuando uno pica cebolla no es el simple hecho de llorar, sino que a veces uno empieza como quien dice, se pica y ya no puede parar. No sé si a ustedes les ha pasado, pero a mí, la mera verdad, sí. Infinidad de a veces. Mamá decía que era porque yo soy igual de sensible a la cebolla que Tita, mi tía abuela. Dicen que Tita era tan sensible que desde que estaba en el vientre de mi bisabuela lloraba y lloraba cuando esta picaba cebolla. Su llanto era tan fuerte que Nacha, la cocinera de la casa, que era medio sorda, lo escuchaba sin esforzarse. Un día los sollozos fueron tan fuertes que provocaron que el parto se adelantara, y sin que mi bisabuela pudiera decir ni pío, Tita arribó a este mundo prematuramente. Tita arribó a este mundo prematuramente. sobre la mesa de la cocina entre los olores de una sopa de fideos que se estaba cocinando, los de tornillo, el laurel, el cilantro, el de leche hervida, el de los ajos y por supuesto el de la cebolla. Okay, so I was just reading out loud, so I'm just going to skim really quickly just to kind of recap what it said. Okay, so basically that chunk of the book was basically talking about being in the kitchen and chopping up onions and how it makes you cry, and basically about when she was born, she kept crying and crying. They're comparing the crying in the womb to the crying that an onion makes you do when you chop it up. And she also explains how she kept crying so much in the womb that it made her mother go into labor because of the crying. The book is really about like weaving and cooking and emotions and love into one, because she's going to be confined to the kitchen. So basically all of her emotions and anything that she wants to actually show for the man that she loves, she will incorporate it into her dish. Or if she's mad, like the dish is not going to come out right and it might not taste the dish might not taste well because she made it with anger or whatever. So all of her emotions get invested in the dishes that she cooks, and the outcome corresponds with how she was feeling that day, basically.